Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video. This is a very long time coming. I've wanted to make a booktube for years, literally for years, and I just have never taken the leap. It seems like really daunting and scary to me. But with TikTok getting banned next month, I no longer have anywhere to post me yapping because Instagram is not conducive to yappers like myself. They want all the aesthetic, cute photos and short reels, and I just can't do that. So I'm going to kick today's video off with a bang, and we're going to talk about all of the 2025 book releases coming up that I'm excited about, and I think that you should also be excited about. I have 14 of them here. I know already, I'm sure that there are plenty that I've missed, plenty to be announced that I'll be excited about, but I'm already really excited about the 14 on this list. I'm really hoping that we have some bangers in here, hoping we have some 5 stars. I have already read 2 of them, which we'll talk about first because they come out in January. One was a hit, one was a miss. So we'll see. I've got my computer here. I have every book I want to talk about lined up, ready to go. Got my little microphone, and I'm ready to jump into the world of YouTube. So if you're here and you're watching, thank you. I'm really excited to be here. Might be a little bit awkward, but I feel way more comfortable on camera just from being on TikTok for a while now, and I'm excited to get into some longer form stuff. So, without further ado, let's talk about some 2025 book releases. First up, and this will be in chronological order from month to month, so we're going to start with January. So, coming out in just a couple of weeks here on January 14th, we have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is one I actually already read. This was a miss for me, but I think it will work for a lot of people. This is a book about these young girls who are sent to Wellwood Home, is what it's called, in St. Augustine, Florida. They are unwed mothers to be sent to the school by their families so that they can have their babies in secret, give them up for adoption, and then kind of go back to their lives like nothing ever happened. This takes place in the 70s during the summer. So I would recommend reading this in the summer because the vibes were not right for the fall time when I read this. Great summer read, very witchy. It read more like YA to me than his other books. So yeah, that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but just something to note. But that is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Also on January 14th, we have Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I actually just read this. I got it for my book of the month and I gave it 5 stars. I really, really love this book. I highly recommend it. Check this out when it's released, if you can get it like from your library or if you want to buy it, whatever. This book was so much fun. I binged it in 24 hours. I couldn't put it down. It was so spooky. It was so eerie. And she really is the queen of a good plot twist. So this book is about an author. His name is Grady, and he's having a great day. He becomes a New York Times best-selling author, and he calls his wife to share the good news with her, and she gets in a car accident. Like something's laying in the middle of the road. It's a dark, rainy night, and he's telling her, don't get out of the car. Don't go check it out. Just come home. We'll call the police. And she doesn't listen to him, and she goes missing, and she disappears. And a year later, his publisher sends him to this remote island, this writing cabin, and he runs into a woman that looks just like his disappeared wife. And things just go crazy from there. This is super fun. Definitely recommend it. Okay, moving on to February. On the 18th, we have Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. I think that's how you say her name. I hope so. This is book 2 to Heartless Hunter. It's a romantasy. I actually really liked the first one. I gave it 4 stars, so I will be picking this up when it comes out. The first book was about a girl who is a witch, but witches have been like forbidden, I guess, or like using their magic, and they're being hunted. And so it's about this witch and a witch hunter. And of course, you know, they catch feelings for each other, but they are like forbidden to be together. And I don't know. It's like an enemies to lovers, fun, romantic-y time. I thought the writing was pretty good. I just thought it was fun. So if you read that first one, sequel comes out in February. Girl, my microphone's literally dying right now. I swear. Okay, I had to charge my microphone, so we're back. Sunlight is quickly fading, so a lot of chaotic energy today, but you know, we're gonna push through, and it's my first video. I don't care. It's fine. So on March 4th, we have a new John Mars, which I'm so excited about. It's called You Killed Me First. It sounds like it's about three women. So Margot and her friend Anna and this new girl Liv and her flawless family move onto their street. The three women fabricate the perfect pretense of friendship, but each harbors a deadly secret, and newcomer Liv senses something is terribly wrong beneath the polished exteriors. As cracks widen in the veneer of perfection and lies escalate out of control, tension ignites. Bonfire night is approaching and someone is set to burn, but who will it be? So this sounds really good. John Mars, I eat up his thrillers every time. I'm so excited for this. April, we have a new Nat Cassidy. He's the author of Mary and Nestlings. Mary didn't work for me. Nestlings really did work for me. So we'll see. This is going to be like the tiebreaker for me and him. This is When the Wolf Comes Home. Not loving this cover, but it is what it is. This is about a woman named Jess who finds a 5-year-old runaway hiding in the bushes outside of her apartment. After a violent, bloody encounter with the boy's father, she and the boy find themselves running for their lives. Butchery keeps following them, horrifying incidents. She doesn't know what they're up against, but she's starting to realize they're very like surreal and grisly. When the wolf finally comes home, none will be spared. This sounds horrifying in true Nat Cassidy fashion. To May, we have a new Ling Ling Huang, which I'm so excited about. I gave Natural Beauty 5 stars. I loved it. This is called Immaculate Conception. I honestly know nothing about this book, so let me read the synopsis. It's a novel about obsessive friendship upended by a cutting-edge technology purported to enhance empathy and connection. I don't want to know more about it than that, but that sounds really good. It's tagged as like every genre ever. But I'm really excited for this one. That's definitely a 5-star prediction. Also on the 13th of May, we have a new Lucinda Berry. This is called 1 in 4. This is when a reality show about a former child star overcoming addiction culminates in murder. Their therapist must take a closer look into their lives. Again, I don't really like going into my thrillers knowing too much, but this sounds like a really new concept for Lucinda Berry, but she hits it out of the park every time. I'm super excited to pick this up, and I love the cover. It's slaying. On May 20th, we have a new duology from Rachel Gillig that's going to come out. It's called The Night and the Moth, The Stonewater Kingdom, Book 1. I loved the Shepherd King duology like everybody else on planet Earth because she's a gorgeous writer, and I'm so excited to have a new romanticy duology from her. I don't know a ton about this either, so let's see. A gothic mist-cloaked tale of a prophetess who is forced beyond the safety of her cloister on an impossible quest to defeat the gods with one knight whose future is beyond her sight. Sounds great. I'm going to eat it up. Moving on to June. On June 10th, we have a new V.E. Schwab. This is called Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. This doesn't have much of a synopsis. It says 3 young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high and one grows deep and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. I don't know what any of that means, but it's V.E. Schwab, so I'm going to read it, and it sounds like vampire fantasy, so I just know that this is going to be a hit. I don't know if this is like the final cover, but I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm a huge fan of her, so it's fine. Next, we have a new Riley Sager on July 3rd. This is called With a Vengeance. I did not like his latest release from this year, Middle of the Night, and he's very hit or miss for a lot of people, myself included, so we'll see. The synopsis of this doesn't call out to me that much, so we'll see. But this is about this book. It says 6 people ruined Anna Matheson's life. 4 men and 2 women associated with her father's train engine company who orchestrated an act of sabotage in 1942 that resulted in the death of 37 others, including her only brother, and framed her father for the crime. It's now 1954. Oh, okay. And Anna is ready for retribution. She's gathered the 6 on an overnight train from New York to Chicago and announced that she has proof of what they did and that all 6 conspirators will be arrested when the train arrives to Chicago. And then it sounds like one by one they start to die off. This sounds just like Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I'm interested to see how this is executed because I'm kind of iffy about it personally. I do like the cover a lot though. On June 24th, we have a new Lisa Jewell. This is called Don't Let Him In. It says 3 women are connected by one man in this kaleidoscopic thriller. Restaurateur Patty Swan. He was the life of the party until the day a man pushed him in the path of an oncoming train, leaving his 20-something daughter Ash and his wife Nina devastated. Shortly after his funeral, the 2 women receive a surprise in the mail, a note and package from Nick, an old friend of Patty's, and a nondescript lighter that once belonged to him decades ago. Okay, I'm confused. There's a lot of characters going on here. It sounds like basically this man dies tragically and then 2 strangers show up into the lives of the wife and daughter that may not be who they say they are. I don't know. But I do know that Lisa Jewell is really dark and twisty in her books, which I like. I've read, I think, 2 of her books, maybe more, but I know I've read 2 of them. And she's also hit or miss for me, but I do like her writing a lot. So I will be reading that. Next in August, I'm so excited. We have a new book by Isabel Cañas. She wrote The Hacienda, which I gave 5 stars, and The Vampires of El Norte, which I gave 3.5 stars. We have The Possession of Alba Diaz. This says, when a demonic presence awakens deep in a Mexican silver mine, the young woman it seizes must turn to the one man who she shouldn't trust. That sounds really good. She writes historical fiction romance with like a gothic paranormal horror twist. It's amazing. She's a beautiful, beautiful writer. I'm obsessed with the cover of all of her books, but this might be my favorite. I literally can't wait for this to come out. Okay, I've got 2 more books. So second to last, we have Catabasis by R.F. Kuang in October. In August of this year, cover to be announced, but this just doesn't have much information about it yet. Is the story of a hero's descent to the underworld. 2 academic rivals from Cambridge must travel to hell to rescue the soul of their advisor. That sounds like Ninth House. Ooh, getting there was easy. Surviving it and each other is another thing entirely. I'm gonna love this. It says it's fantasy romance. So kind of a new genre from R.F. Kuang. I'll write anything she reads. Girl, I will read anything that she writes. I am really excited about this, and it's giving Ninth House vibes, and I love the Ninth House. Then the very last book that I have actually is not even on Goodreads yet, which is where I'm getting all my information from. But this, Rachel Harrison has a new book coming out. She just announced this on her Instagram 4 days ago. It's called Play Nice. It's going to be coming out September 9th. It says, haunted house, demons, book within a book, annotations. Inspiration includes Hamlet and what the media did to Britney Spears. Sign me up. I love Rachel Harrison. She wrote Such Sharp Teeth, which I haven't read yet, Cackle, So Thirsty, which I read this year. That was her release from this year, and Black Sheep. I really, really like her books, and this sounds so good. I can't wait to see the cover of this because the cover has not been released yet, but I can't wait. With that, those are all of the 2025 releases that are on my radar at the moment. I can't wait. I think this reading year is going to be even better than this year. I'm so excited. Let me know if there's any releases that I didn't talk about that are on your radar that sound good and interesting that I need to add to my TBR, because I'm always looking for a good new release to add to my TBR. With that, that is the end of my very first YouTube video, chaotic as it was. Thank you for being here. If you watched to the end, thank you so much for being a watcher of my very first YouTube video. So I'm hoping to start posting my wrap-ups on here as well, because if TikTok gets banned, I won't have anywhere else to put my wrap-ups. And I really am a yapper. Like, it's really hard for me to condense down what I'm saying about a book on TikTok into a 10-minute video. So now here on YouTube, I can yap for as long as I want. Happy reading, and I will see you in my next video.